Sword of the Sea made such an impression on me that within the first 30 minutes of starting it up for the first time, I turned the game off, I spent an hour researching the developers, and ultimately decided to wait and play Journey first. That's right, I had not played Journey, at least not at that point, and so I did. I awoke in the desert, I saw a figure in the hallway, I made my way to the mountaintops in picturesque style before finally struggling my way into the crevice. Journey felt like a distillation of the best parts of my childhood game experiences, Zelda in particular, a deep sense of awe and adventure at an unknown world, and no clear idea of how to tackle it other than by running at the totality of it headfirst. I'm glad I played Journey before Sword of the Sea. It was necessary context in understanding where a game like this comes from, and so once I was ready to play it, I had some expectations in mind: compelling but simple mechanics, a somber story, and an adherence to well-thought-out game design practices. I found those things in Sword of the Sea, and like Journey, I also found some adherence to my childhood game influences: Wave Race 64 in the motion, Ocarina of Time, and Banjo-Kazooie in the level dynamics and exploration. Good design seems to be a running theme with that game company alumni. I really can't overstate it. The quality of the adventure that you have in Sword of the Sea as a moment-to-moment experience is outstanding. Like Journey, it's of sufficient quality that words needn't be spoken to communicate that adventure at all. The adventure is self-evident, as are your goals in that adventure and the tools necessary to complete them. Except for the HUD. There is no HUD, because only those weak of body and mind require a HUD. If you have a question about something that a HUD could have answered, that wasn't a good question to begin with. Let me explain to you how this game works, okay? You get on the sword, you ride. You see sand, you turn it into water. Easy. The tactility of the surfing itself is best in class. It feels like sharp butter. That Wave Race 64 comparison was not undue. Wavy, periodic ground swells give you a rich tapestry of surfaces to ride with. Keeping your lines clean builds a noticeable amount of momentum, and that speed is your reward for engaging with the level geometries actively. Three-dimensional in-air movements feel precise and predictable, and those excellent controls make the underlying principles of the game fun. Exploring, locating items and things to interact with, chipping away at the lore, and so on, before these interactions ultimately reshape the environment itself. That reshaping dynamic in particular is a great way to get more mileage out of the level design here. Effectively, what they do is modify the level to have water-like characteristics after the stage changes over, so you get a more dynamic and interactive sandbox to play in. Sandbox. You move much faster on the water too, adding to the intensity, and what begins as a sandy wasteland is but a few obelisks away from transformation. Thing is pinged, the water surges outwards. Pretty soon you're flying down water slides, swimming with orcas, and turning the entire desert into an oceanic Phantasia. It's a wonderful visual transformation in its own right, but the fact that this alteration provides tangible mechanical differences to the play experience, very cool. One thing about those Nintendo 64 games that I grew up with is that they imparted a deep sense of exploration in the player. When those games were new, there was nothing like them. For many people, it was their first experiences in 3D. It was common for people who played them to push outwards into the farthest reaches of the game environment to see what it had to offer. Sword of the Sea makes sure to put little chests and lore pieces throughout the map and all the nooks and crannies just in case such a player happens to be playing this game. And those hidden spots are treated as first-class citizens, no less. Things you might completely miss end up representing some of the best art direction in the game. Take this challenge half-pipe, for example. I didn't even realize this was here until my second time exploring the area. I could have missed it completely. Sword of the Sea rewards the curious. There's a particular thing that this game handles masterfully well, and if there's a specific term for it, I don't know what it's called, but I'll call it curvature. curvature all over, mathematical curvature, physical curvature, the curvature of the waves underneath you that you're riding. They're smooth and a perfect match for the velocity of your board movement. The curvature of the ramping functions for your movement speed, the ramp up and ramp down of your speed, are tight and well calibrated, giving you the confidence to make precarious jumps. Even the curvature of movement keyframes on pre-rendered animations are really nice, like with those at the start of the game here. Every part of Sword of the Sea is dripping with quality, and it moves as smooth as the ocean it emulates. Nothing in this game is jarring. Well, almost nothing. Look, I don't want to make any broad performance judgments on PC because I use Linux. I don't believe this game was designed with Linux in mind, and if the game wasn't designed for software in mind that I'm using, it doesn't seem appropriate for me to pass judgment on it like it was. But having said that, I have little issue with hundreds of other Windows games I play on Linux. They work just fine, oftentimes better than they do in Windows, but for some reason, Sword of the Sea has performance issues. Somewhere between the game code or the hardware itself, something gets hung up over time and gets fucked. The longer that you move around high intensity areas, the lower the frame rate drags. It's a consistent drag. It's not jittery, but it does lower a lot over time, and restarting the game is the only way to make it better. It feels like a memory leak. That's usually what that is. Oftentimes, if it is, it's something easily patched out, but that's wishful thinking. I have no idea. I'm not a programmer. These problems are likely present on Windows 2 if the Steam reviews are any indication, so if you want to play Sword of the Sea at 120 FPS, you might want to give it a few patch cycles first. Something to keep in mind. But having said all of that, the totality of Sword of the Sea as a holistic package, as a game in and of itself, it is so good. It's so good. Give it a play.